The scent of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the faint tang of cleaning detergent as Owen Hale mopped the last stretch of the gleaming marble floor in the lobby of Western Enterprises. The morning sun streamed through the glass panels, catching the faint silver in his hair. At 48, Owen was invisible to most who walked past him. Employees in crisp suits, heads bent over phones, faces too busy to notice the quiet man with tired eyes and calloused hands. Once he had worn a suit like them, once he had dreams. But that was before life knocked him off the pedestal and into the quiet, unseen corners of survival. If only they knew who he used to be. But Owen didn't talk about the past. He showed up early, stayed late, and did his job with quiet pride. Because work, any work, was better than pity. Still, that didn't stop the whispers. "He smells like bleach," someone once said. "He's sweet but kind of weird," another laughed. He ignored it all, hiding behind his kind smile. What he didn't know was that a cruel office joke was about to turn into a story the whole company and the internet would never forget. If you believe in kindness, redemption, and second chances, please like this video, comment below, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness Journal. Your support helps us share more real, emotional stories that restore faith in humanity. It started with 3 interns, Riley, Megan, and Kyle, bored out of their minds during lunch break. They were scrolling through an office dating app when Riley snickered, "What if we set Owen up on a date, like a blind date? It'd be hilarious." The others laughed, feeding off each other's immaturity. "Yeah, with someone way out of his league, like Harper West." Harper West, the 32-year-old CEO who had recently taken over after her father's passing, was beautiful, brilliant, and intimidating. She had a reputation for her icy composure and fierce leadership. The idea of pairing her with the janitor sounded absurd, cruel even, but that didn't stop the prank. They created a fake profile, pretended to be Harper, and sent Owen a message through an anonymous platform linked to his work email. "I've seen how kind you are around the office. Would you like to have coffee sometime?" Owen's heart skipped. He reread the message a dozen times, hardly believing it. Someone wanted to meet him? He hadn't gone on a date in years, not since his wife's illness took everything from him. For the first time in so long, he allowed a fragile hope to rise inside. Maybe, just maybe, someone had seen past his uniform. The interns picked a small cafe across the street and even told Harper's assistant about a potential networking meeting scheduled there that afternoon. Everything was in place, the cruelest setup masked as a joke. When the day arrived, Owen stood in front of the mirror in the janitor's locker room, brushing back his graying hair. He had saved his best shirt for months, a light blue button-down, slightly faded but neatly ironed. He took a deep breath, whispered to his reflection, "Don't get your hopes up, old man," and stepped out. The cafe buzzed with midday chatter. Harper arrived first, confused about a supposed meeting she'd been scheduled for. She wore a cream blouse and soft grey slacks, her poise effortless as always. She glanced around for the contact her assistant mentioned, expecting a client or consultant. Then the door chimed. Owen walked in, nervous, holding a small bouquet of daisies wrapped in brown paper. Their eyes met. For a long second, neither understood what was happening. Harper blinked, unsure. Owen smiled shyly. "You must be Harper?" The cafe seemed to go silent for a moment. Harper's assistant, seated in the corner, realized something was terribly wrong. The interns, watching secretly from outside the window, stifled their laughter, recording snippets on their phones. Owen's voice trembled. I wasn't sure you'd actually show up." Harper's brows knitted in confusion, then softened as she pieced it together. The fake meeting, the awkward glances from her assistant, the interns whispering outside. She felt a slow, cold anger rise, not at Owen, but at the cruelty behind it all. Yet in that moment, she saw something else. A man trying his best, clutching flowers he clearly couldn't afford, eyes filled with the hesitant hope of someone who had known too much disappointment. So instead of walking away, Harper smiled gently and said, "Why don't we sit down, Mr. Hale?" Owen's hands shook slightly as he placed the daisies on the table. They began to talk. He was nervous at first, apologizing for not being the kind of man she'd expect. But Harper stopped him softly. "I don't judge people by titles, Owen. Tell me about you." He spoke haltingly at first, then with growing ease, about his daughter who was studying nursing on a scholarship, about his late wife who used to pack him homemade lunches even during her chemo treatments, about how he took the janitor job because it was honest work that helped him pay off her hospital bills. Harper listened, completely still, her usual businesslike demeanor melting away. Every word from Owen carried a quiet dignity, a man who had lost everything but still showed up every day with kindness in his eyes. By the time they finished their coffee, Harper's throat ached from holding back emotion. She looked outside and saw the interns still giggling, recording. Something in her snapped. She stood, walked calmly to the window, opened it, and said in a clear, firm voice, "Enjoying yourselves?" The laughter died instantly. The three interns froze. Harper's tone was cool but sharp as glass. "You think kindness is funny? You think humiliating someone who works harder than any of you makes you clever? You've just shown me everything you'll never become." People inside the cafe turned to look. Silence fell heavy as shame filled the air. Harper turned back to Owen, her eyes soft again. "I'm so sorry, Owen. You didn't deserve that." "But I'd still be honored if we could finish our conversation, somewhere away from cameras." That day changed everything. Word spread fast around the company. By evening, every employee had seen the clip, though Harper made sure the intern's version never saw daylight. Instead, she issued a memo addressed to all staff. It read, "A man's value is not defined by his job title, but by his integrity." Today, I met someone who reminded me what true strength and humility look like. His name is Owen Hale, and from this day forward, he will be heading a new community initiative within Western Enterprises to mentor and uplift those seeking second chances in life. The message went viral within hours. People from around the world flooded the comments, praising Harper's compassion and Owen's resilience. The interns were quietly dismissed, but Harper never mentioned them publicly. She said, "Humiliation doesn't heal hearts, accountability does." Owen tried to decline the offer at first. "Ma'am, I'm not management material," he said humbly, but Harper smiled. "You are exactly the kind of leader this world needs. You just never had the platform." And so, the janitor became the heart of the company's most beloved program, Project Phoenix, named after the bird that rises from ashes. He spent his days organizing food drives, mentoring ex-convicts re-entering the workforce, and sharing his story at schools and shelters. He never once mentioned the prank that started it all. Months later, during the company's annual charity gala, Harper invited Owen on stage. The ballroom glittered with chandeliers, and hundreds of guests looked up as he took the microphone. He wore the same blue shirt from that fateful day, now perfectly pressed, and spoke in his quiet, steady tone. "I thought I was just a janitor," he began, "but someone reminded me that being seen isn't about what you wear or what you earn, it's about what you give. I've made mistakes. I've lost things I can never get back. But today, I stand here not as a man who cleans floors, but as someone who helps others find their footing again. And for that, I'm grateful." Tears filled eyes across the hall. Harper stood at the edge of the stage, clapping with the proud smile of someone who knew she hadn't just changed his life. He'd changed hers too. As the applause rose, Owen looked toward the back of the room where the cleaning crew stood watching him, wide-eyed. He lifted the microphone once more and said softly, "To everyone out there doing the unseen work, don't let anyone tell you your life doesn't matter. You are the reason the world keeps turning. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Let's fill the world with more compassion and stories that prove kindness always wins. And before you go, Drop A in the comments if you believe that every person, no matter their job or past, deserves respect and a second chance. Because sometimes the people we overlook are the ones holding the light that guides us all.